No, but an extension in the sense of making field diagnosis. I mean, we can't.
Well, you know what?
let's
You're
go on
kidding
this-
yourself if you don't think you diagnose.
Oh, no,
Because
we
you carry
do.
a drug box and you give medicine, and you know what? You better have a diagnosis running around in your head.
The system was designed that
But
we
to
were the
di-
eyes and ears.
To diagnose, we need to prescribe. And right now, my prescription is an emergency room.
Okay, but I think your prescription also is a bologna sandwich sometimes. Or your
It-
prescription is a doctor's office.
It is,
if
but
you're
you
in
said
a
yourself you've
transport.
gotten slack for that bologna sandwich. So until it becomes accepted practice, until it becomes
I think what
a
you're going to
viable-
see as we evolve more, as we learn more, that these things will be acceptable.
I think
Right.
what's
That's
a-
what we're trying to do anyway. But
Yeah.
I believe you are, and I think this type of forum actually is going to help to accelerate that process and that evolution. I mean, back in the day, I mean, we're talking, you know, everybody hates the, you know, the stories of back in the day. But seriously, back in the day, one of these things was we were just a little bit above the blue box. Give the blue box.
Give a blue box.
You know, I mean, we might as well wind up the phone, give the blue box.
And as
Pop
an
it.
EMT too, you were
You feel
given
good
a
about
14
yourself?
gauge
I just
needle and
pop the yellow caps and I'm giving the blue box. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's blue box. But and this is the next phase, the questions and stuff that you're asking. I mean, where I see that we're heading is the impact of patient care. Is we have this, like, and I spoke of this in the last CTA, we have this unbelievable funnel that we're dealing with right now of an enormous population that needs health care, and the funnel gets smaller, and we have hospitals going out of business, going bankrupt, to where we're getting relocated down to like 5 hospitals to treat millions of people, and they don't have the capacity to do it. And then there's this gap, okay, and who is there to solve the gap? We are. We become their primary health. But then we are limited in our scope and our ability. So then we need to make something in the middle between the hospital, such as community clinics that we can transport to after we diagnose in the field and say this person could be appropriately treated at this limited, you know,
We
medical
have to gain
clinic.
that trust from the community first, though.
Yes.
I feel like
you
they don't
know,
trust us. We're just
as
technicians.
more of us that are EMS related, that are becoming physicians, and there are paramedics right now that are doctors in the state of California,
Absolutely.
that are medical directors of EMS systems. And they're introducing those kind of things. Alameda County has a place where they take psychiatric patients now that is
Yeah.
a second and a third place for violent psychs and for people that don't need to go to the ER and occupy a hallway bed.
yeah, and
And
San
make it-
Francisco has that great the sober centers,
Yeah.
which I
That's
saw
so-
when I did the ride along.
And Alameda County's
But you have it.
I'm
You have
not
it.
representing my service right now, so I'll say they are not great.
Oh,
They are abused by the community. They know they're there, and that the best way to get there is to call 911.
Wow.
So all it is taking me out of service, and instead of taking them to the hospital, I'm taking them to a sobering center. It still doesn't solve the problem of that 911 resource being misused. Now, if you give a well-trained paramedic who's able to capture an accurate assessment using good technology, education, technology, and trust, to go to that scene and say, you know what, you're intoxicated, let me call you a van, stay there.
and not use
You've
the
been there for
ambulance.
2 days. Stay there. I'm going to call you a van. We're in service. That is where the difference is going to be made. But that point outside of Wake County is not very common because we're still locked into a 30-year-old model that we are the eyes and ears of the physician, and we are going to call, Mother, may I please send you a strip and please tell me what to do. That's how it started. That's how it was when I first got in, and I'm just now seeing, just a couple years ago, I had to call and ask permission to give aspirin to any person over the age of 35 experiencing chest pain. Why?
These are baby
Well,
steps.
Because somebody gave aspirin to somebody for the wrong reasons. Well, that's not a reason to harm my current patients. But at the same time, for every motivated, well-educated, passionate EMT student, there's somebody else in the back of the class who slept through half the classes, who cannot be trusted to make these decisions. And we are still a long ways away from being a trusted profession. You mentioned it earlier. They still think of us as technicians.
Everybody has rocks in the yard.
Yeah.
There is not any service anywhere in the country or any foreign country that's watching that doesn't have a guy that you think, whoa, I don't want to work a shift with him.
Yeah, and you hear that, man, I hope I don't ever get sick on his watch.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
We need to really push to change that.
yes.
Absolutely.
And luckily, we're starting to get more people out in the field that are proactive, and those folks are starting to get weeded out. They're starting to burn out for the wrong reasons. They're starting to see that, wow, I do have to be a proactive agent of change in my
I
system.
do have to read.
Yeah, reading required.
Well, the other thing aspect too that I think is changing, and to hear you talk about it also is that we have been if you think about it, you know why I loved being a paramedic? Because we were so autonomous, so free.
Oh,
You guys,
absolutely.
go post. I mean, we sat on a street corner, but no bosses. It's a very free
You're left to make
workplace.
decisions on your
Decisions on your own and everything. And the thing is that honestly, we didn't have Big Brother watching over us in a lot of ways, and that unfortunately followed all the way down to the quality assurance process and our PCRs and so forth. But now with the evolution of technology, and you talked about, well, how do I quantify and qualify? Am I making a difference? Well, in many ways, through the use of technology, electronic PCR, we are capturing data, and we can show and quantify and qualify what you are asking. And with that, what I've seen is that we're beginning to recognize weaknesses in our medics, weaknesses in certain paramedics, and just in my department alone, we're beginning to remediate and re-educate those medics to get them back up to speed, because we know they're out there and they're like, oh my God, they're actually looking at these PCRs. Absolutely. If you know that and they know that, it makes you have more of that presence like, wow, if I'm not doing my job, I need to do my job, and if I don't know what I'm doing, I need to study. And so you need to light that fire, not in a threatening manner, in more of a supportive role to get that going.
You want to bring everybody up.
Exactly.
Instead of getting out,
Exactly.
leaving the bad out and keeping
It's
the good, let's bring
continuing
everybody.
quality improvement, not quality assurance anymore. We don't threaten you by, you're going to get fired.
Yeah, threatening doesn't work.
Let's
it doesn't work.
educate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, are we seeing that that's some of the first budgets to get cut
Sadly, yes.
in some of these municipal agencies?
Sure.
Is the QI and the remedial training?
Absolutely. And, for me, I'm very fortunate at the City of Oakland, because the residents of Oakland have passed a measure that actually supports the EMS portion of the fire department. So we're fairly well protected in regard to that. And that shows the level of, awareness and community support. So I feel very, very lucky and I'm very proud to work for the City of Oakland in regards to that. But I do see that with my fellow chiefs and constituents around the Bay Area. They are getting cut and they are getting hampered in regards to their budget. And we're 80% of the volume. Medical is 80% of the volume out there. So that also should tell you something about the level of community health care that's available and the level of access that's available. It's extremely hampered. So there's really no easy answers or solutions, but and this is where also the Chiefs Association is coming in for the next evolution. Also, is to start asking and looking for assistance at the federal level and establishing that a major federal agency of EMS and getting that role in to provide supportive roles for rural areas, metro areas, to provide that funding resources.
Someone other than the people who work on buses and taxis.
Yeah. But the thing is think about this. How many EMS grants are out there for your agency to go ahead and apply for and get? How many EMS grants? There's lots of
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
And because there is very limited. And the reason grants are available to fire agencies and so forth, because there are large federal government agencies that support them, like FEMA. The biggest one right now is Homeland Security and FEMA, right? Disaster response. The fire service has the fire administration, so they have tons of grants there. EMS, we have a small agency located inside of NHTSA. But if we had a larger EMS representation at the federal level, we would have more access to government money and grants, to support us, to mitigate this loss that we're talking about.
The forgotten third service.
We are, in many
Not
ways.
anymore. We're back.
We're
Well,
back.
in a big way.
Dude, it's seen us
We're
2-0.
trying to get noticed.
We're there.
That's right. That's right.
And I think we will get noticed. And I don't think don't worry that there's not a lot of research out there, because it's coming.
Yeah.
It's
Coming
coming.
fast.
And Jeremiah, you're the one that's going to do it. You're the next generation that's going to steward that forward, because you're asking the right questions and your mentality is set in the right way. It's not about being fancy and how many crikes did you have or how many of those bloody trauma calls did I go on. It's about, like, am I making a difference? And, is more better? No, not necessarily. Less may be better also. It's about educating yourself to know the difference between right and wrong, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and to ask those questions, and then to look for ways to quantify them in your data research and make papers. Paramedics are writing papers. Look at Baxter Larman. I feel Dr. Larman goes out there and he preaches and asks for paramedic research, for EMS research and paramedics to get involved. And we're just getting to that point to where we need more. I want you to go back to school and get your PhD. That's what I'm telling you. I want you to also. And I can't tell you, my good friends Paul Maniscalco and so forth, the pressure's on. You need to get in your PhD program, Bill, now. And it's because we need more PhD paramedics. And so we can go ahead and evolve.
Education.
Absolutely.
It's key.
Get your MD too.
Yeah.
So
Well, there you go with,
Mud
with the whole adrenaline rush. As long as you keep finding something new, there's always going to be something new to excite you. So
speaking of that, I'm going to jump in my time traveling ambulance. 10 years in the future. Where are you?
Let's see, he'll be 33. I don't know. I think there's a lot of possibility. I mean, I've already said before, I was going on the MD track for a while, and once I got into this, and I talked to a lot of people, especially, I talked to Justin back just in February, and he was like, you should stay in emergency medicine. And the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. I love doing this. I want to get my bachelor's. I want to find a paramedicine program that'll do a bachelor's in that, and then go into education, get my master's, my PhD in education, and I want to teach. Where I'm in Louisiana, we have one large company, and they have a factory for students, and they pump them out. And we are not educated. We are cookbook medics. Had I stayed on that track, I would be a cookbook medic, but I went out on my own and did my own stuff, and that's the reason why I am the way I am. I want to go back, and I want to teach people how to think outside of the box and not be cookbook, but to be a clinician, to be a diagnostician instead of a protocol monkey.
I'm going to hold you to that. I got
All
you
right.
on tape. Jared, 10 years in the future, where are you?
10 years from now, I'm writing, I'm speaking, I'm traveling, I'm
I like it. Me too.
yeah, I'm the guy
I'm telling
that
people I know you.
I'm the guy that when someone goes to EMT class, they pull up an article or they pull up a video and they go, oh hey, that's Jer. He did this. Or, you know that big change that we're having in the protocols? Well, that was because of him. He wrote this paper and he brought it in and he went to our medical director and that's why things are better now. Or someone wants to go to a conference and I want people to say, oh, you know, who are you going to see? I'm going to go see Jeremiah. He's talking on this. Oh, that's so great because I was just telling my administrators about that. You need to go hear what he's going to talk about. I want to be the go-to person for the best way to take the industry.
I like it. I'm going to hold you to that too. I got you on
Okay,
tape.
I'll hold you to holding me to that.
There's a lot of holding going on.
Everyone
Wow.
just hold each other
Let's
quick.
just
Where
hold.
are you in 10 years?
10 years.
Don't
Hopefully.
say Florida.
Well, I'm looking at doing a residency eventually, so hopefully have been practicing for at least 7 years after some kind of a 3-year residency. Possibly another child in my family, and some kind of an EMS system has me involved in some level of care. Either a fire service is calling me their medical director, or an EMS system is calling me their medical.
I'll start a
Great.
company
You-
and you'll be my medical
you could
director.
No,
My
he's
medical
mine. He's mine.
We
Dibs.
can start one together. There you go.
Bill, 10 years. Where are you?
I'm on an island, drinking a drink with an umbrella in it, going, God, I'm really glad these guys all stood up and, you know, started to do EMS stuff. No, hopefully where I see myself is I'd like to be in some larger role, federal capacity of some kind, trying to really make a difference politically and for all the people, for the line people. It's all about the people in the street in EMS, making sure that they're cared for, making sure that they have benefits for themselves, for their family, that they're covered, and that the profession is known, touted, and respected at that level with our senators and congressmen, our representatives overall. And I want to be able to say, Jeremiah, Natalie, you know, Jim, Justin, yeah, I knew those guys back when. That's the whole goal. Go back to school, represent, be there. You know, for me, I mean, I'm very grateful to a lot of individuals that helped to mentor me and bring me along and really steward this forward for me because, honestly, if I didn't have EMS, I don't know what I'd be doing. I mean, pretty much this profession really has taken a hold, and it's something that's dear to me. You know, and I'm glad to see that you guys are holding on to that, and it's the same with you.
It's a passion.
It's
It
absolutely.
really is. That was mentioned in the chat room, which also has a seat at the table here. It's a passion. It starts with, like you're saying, we look for that high five, and that's what's going to make us happy. And we've got some music here in the room. I love it. We're looking for a high five, and that's the passion. And then that gives away, and that's really cool. I like that.
Are they playing us off the stage?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I like that. Let me finish my thought here, too. Musical accompaniment by whatever band that is. It starts off with a high five, and you're craving that. And then you don't find that, so then you're just happy with a handshake in the back of the ambulance. Hey, great job, handshake. Well, then you start to lose that, then it's a nod. And then you suddenly realize that the passion is seeing your patient smile and doing the right thing by them. And that's where we need to find our passion. If you are starting to get burnt out in EMS, look for something else. Look for that smile from your patient, because if they're smiling, they're having a better day. And that's what it's really all about.
Absolutely.
So let me say thank you for pulling up a chair here at the seat of the table. Really appreciate the discussion.
Thanks
Old,
for having
new,
me again.
Middle, love it. Hope you come back, and in 10 years, if we still have to do this to get awareness for EMS, I'm done. So let's really move it forward. And
Won't that
keep
be
it
EMS
going.
4.0 at that point?
Yeah.
I'm working on 3.1, my
There
mom
you go.
says. So thank you very much for
Excellent.
coming.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.